I'm sorry, but I was wondering if you... She stopped. The most amazing scent, like honeysuckle and tangerines, wafted out from behind him. It reminded her of the hedgerows in summertime when the whole family, her mother, Dale, and her two half-sisters, would drive out to visit her grandmother in Skidby. Well, technically Florence wasn't Alice's real grandmother, but she never made a fuss about that. Alice had always been grateful that she had one granny to lay claim to, given that all of her blood grandparents had been wiped out by ill health, stress, revolution, and state violence. "What is that smell?" she blurted. "You like it?" he asked, his scowl softening. His English was inflected with a slight accent that wasn't French. "It's brilliant," she said. "Good," he said. Then he had stepped outside and shut the door. He towered over her on the sidewalk. His belly overhung his jeans a little, and she could see the tip of it peeking over his waistband, like a hairy animal trying to climb out of his shirt. "Why are you here?" he demanded. Well, Lily sent me over." He stared at her blankly. "You know, from next door, the editor of Bonjour Paris." "That's magazine," he said dismissively. Alice's irritation got the better of her shyness, and she surprised herself by speaking firmly. "Yes, I'm Alice." She stuck out her hand. "You are?" He hesitated, as if debating whether to tell her. Common courtesy won out. "Alexander," he said. They shook hands, and it felt like his massive paw might engulf her entire arm. Alice continued. "He has been out for ages. My boss, Lily, wanted to know if you'd had any luck getting in touch with the landlord." "The landlord is a wanker," Alexander said. "Yes," Alice agreed with a surprised laugh, her annoyance easing. "Did your heat go out too?" "Yes." "Well, maybe we could work together to get that sorted then." "No," said Alexander. "Oh." She'd lived in Paris for 6 months, so was used to racism and condescension. Flat refusal to help was a new thing. He seemed to realize that his last reply might have been a bit blunt. "I fixed mine myself." "You did?" she asked. "How?" "I made sure the lock shields on the radiators were open." "Great, then maybe you could—" "Then I had to bleed the air out," Alexander continued. She waited a moment, not daring to interrupt again. "In the end, I needed to change the TRV." "So, do you think you could do that for us?" Alexander stared at her. "Could you come over and do that thing with the TRV or whatever?" "It depends. You might need to open the lock shields." "Right," Alice said tentatively. "Could you open those?" Alexander shrugged, a rolling movement like a chunk of ice calving off a glacier. "I'd have to turn the boiler off." "Okay," Alice said. "It's in the basement," he said. And so they descended to this network of interconnected arched brick hallways lit, unreliably, as it turned out, by flickering light bulbs. Once in the basement, she and Alexander had spent ages snaking their way through twisty hallways, past the occasional half-open storage room containing random items. One room she glimpsed was stacked with aquariums. Another held the contents of what appeared to be a 1950s living room. Alice had grown increasingly nervous as they walked on, seeming never to come to the utility room. What did she know about this man? Where was he leading her? When the lights had flickered and then gone out, she had panicked and run away. Now, alone in the dark and lost, she deeply regretted her mad dash. She stumbled down the hallway, relying on her sense of touch to guide her back to Alexander. Oh dear, a fork in the hallway. Had she come from the left or the right? She had been running so fast she couldn't remember. Alexander had called to her as she bolted, his tone bewildered. That call had come from the right, she was sure of it.